Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear fan members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Madeline.
And we are
the Fear Babes. Hello! Welcome back to Fear Babes Podcast.
Okay, you did the intro, so back to Glenn Powell.
Exactly. So guys, we were just talking about how this is the biggest interview of our life, except for the fact that Glenn Powell, if we can get him on, would be the biggest interview of our life. But what I was just telling Bergie prior to saying, we need to record this because it's important, is that I have the delusion that we could actually get Glenn Powell on the podcast.
Bro, remember when we talked to that one person that's going to be released after this episode? So I'm not going to give it away yet. And his whole shtick was like, not if, but when.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sticking with that. Not if, but when.
But when. Exactly. Precisely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have 3 crushes right now. This one, we're gonna make it sound like I didn't say anything, so people are like, who? And then Hugh Jackman, and of course Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this before agreeing to come on, though. Because then he might not come on.
I don't know. I think that he might actually, not that I'm gonna say that he enjoys being thirsted over, but the interviews that I have listened to him, and he went on Therapist with Jake Shane. Do you know Jake Shane?
No.
Oh my God, please listen to his podcast. It's amazing.
Oh, right up our alley, bro. He's right? Babe coded.
I know. I would love Jake Shane on our podcast. That would be incredible.
Sick.
Glenn Powell was on the podcast, and everything that he was saying, the jokes that they were making, I was like, this is so Fear Babes coded.
Dude, how do we make this happen? Somebody help us get Glenn Powell.
I don't know, but someone, please help us get Glenn Powell on the podcast.
Glenn Powell.
This is chaotic already.
Send me that. I might sneeze. Hold on.
Oh. Bless you. There we go. Bless you.
No. I think you made it go away, actually.
Woo!
Hold on. The tickle is still tickling. Okay, so send me that podcast so I can, because I'm going on a plane in 2 days, and then I'll be coming home on a plane in 4 days.
Right.
Wait, 5 days? Anyways, so I'll need something to listen to when we're on the plane, so.
Of course. Would you like to tell our listeners what you're doing?
I'm going to a bachelorette party. By the time you heard this episode, I will have just gotten home, been home for a week. So check my Insta for the pics, because I'm sure there'll be some. But Brother's bestie's getting married. Brother's bestie's a girl, so we're besties. We're actually swole-mates. She's one of my swole-mates. And yeah, so we got to go celebrate her and shit. And we're doing it 70s style in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
It's gonna be groovy.
I can't wait to
Did you see my platform boots?
No.
My go-go boots, the sparkly ones.
Yes, I did. I
am excited.
Speaking of which, you know what my dream birthday party would be?
What?
Something... I mean, obviously I had my dream birthday party already, which is the Bridgerton theme, but I would love, okay, maybe dream is a big word, but I would love to have, maybe for my 30th birthday, because that's coming up in the next couple of years, I want to do a 70s go-go girl kind of birthday party where everyone has to dress 70s and we only listen to the music, and maybe roller skating. I don't know. When I think 70s, I think Austin Powers Gold Member.
Okay.
And I think about Gold Member where he's like, I am from Holland. Isn't that weird? So yeah. Austin Powers playing in the background, 70s music going on, roller skating happening.
Hell yeah, bro. So
Yeah.
our roller rink here does like one Thursday a month. They do adult skate night, and like a couple skates ago they did 70s. I think it was 70s.
I think you went, didn't
It was
you?
super fun. Yeah. When I wore my aluminum foil pants, you know, the ones from Joyzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I crimped my hair. Yeah, it was super
Yes.
fun. So if you have that birthday party, please invite me. I will be there. My 30th birthday
Nice.
party, I'm pretty sure we're doing Gatsby, so
I'm invited, right?
obviously.
I fucking
You-
better be.
You and Wendeth East have to come.
Yes. I hope I can make that work.
I know.
Well, with Windeth East. By that point, oh, you know what? Real quick, before we get into what this episode is, going to be about.
Not Glenn Powell.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but we have someone better.
We do.
Better.
We do.
Better
than Glenn
but-
Powell. You'll see in a minute.
Exactly. The most awesomest, most beautiful person ever.
Yeah. This is like the interview we've been waiting for since we've started this whole project.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway, say your thing before we get off topic again.
So basically, I got a notification that in 365 days, so a year from now, I will be about to board my ship for my mom's 50th birthday Alaskan cruise. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, I was thinking about how fast a year goes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm like, oh my God. So we'll see. I'm trying to get Wendeth a little bit more seasoned with traveling. So maybe your 30th birthday might happen with Wendeth East.
my 30th will be the February after that, but because it's Wendeth West's 50th when I have my 30th, and my birthday's in February, hers is in April, so we're probably, my brother's birthday is in March, and we're like, for Tate's birthday weekend, we should host our birthday party.
I love that.
Dicks. Yeah. So, also, guys, Tate got a puppy this weekend, and it's a husky German Shepherd. So fucking cute. So lots are happening. Words are what? It's a Tuesday night. We don't usually do this on a Tuesday. But we're doing it for this very special person because, as I said earlier, this is the interview we've been waiting for.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nothing.
So yeah. I don't know. Should we? I don't want to spoil the guest.
No, should we just go for it?
We should.
Do we want to do anything else we want to talk about before we dive in?
No, I think we just need to dive in. Take it away, Morgan!
All right, babes, please help me welcome the one, the only, Chelsea Laden. And if you don't know what group she's from, then you can't sit with us. I'm sorry. Welcome, Chels.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be on your podcast. It's been something we've talked about for a long time, and the time has finally come.
Finally.
Yay!
It's okay, it happens. We're all busy. We get it.
So true.
I know. I kept checking in though. I'm like, hey, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be on this thing. I have not forgot. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever get like mental notes that like everyone's wired so differently, but like if I have a pending task, it basically like sits in the back of my mind, but then it will just resurface like randomly. And I'm like, I just need to like write this down or let somebody know that this is something that I have to friggin' do.
Yep, I'm like that.
That happened, yeah. That happens to me all the time. You'll just be grocery shopping and you'll remember something from like 2 weeks ago and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that.
I'm not even kidding you right now. Like, I'm in the phase of life right now where things are so busy that every time I'm doing something, I think of something else I have to do. And then it's like I never get anything done because I'm constantly going from one task to another task. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like almost too much. So I finally made a checklist, and the checklist goes beyond a full page, like literally a full page. And I'm like, okay, I got to start like checking these things.
Yeah, I totally understand that for sure.
Mhm.
All the time. All the time. Okay, so are you ready for some questions, Chels?
Heck yeah. Lay them on me.
Woo! Okay. Good, because we have a bunch. I'm just kidding. Okay. Starting off from the very beginning, we know you, Dakota, and your family were raised in a haunted home in Minnesota. But can you tell us about your first paranormal experience in that home, or maybe your first experience that you remember?
Sure. So if I remember correctly, I was so there's 5 kids in my family. And like you said, we grew up in a haunted home. The hauntings really didn't start to like affect us till we were a little bit older. And I was actually one of the last kids to have something happen to them. So my outlook on it was like, I always, believe my family and friends and, people who I trust. And it wasn't a matter of not believing them. It was just a matter of like, why isn't this happening to me? Well, at the time I was actually like thankful because the type of paranormal activity in our home was not like necessarily subtle. It was almost whatever was doing it had the intention of scaring us. So, a part of me was like, I'm really thankful it's not happening. Part of me was like, is, my family just crazy? Part of me was like, what the heck's going on? But eventually, things did start happening to me. And the first events that I can think of actually happened when I was with a friend. So the first time I was with one of my best friends and we were in the basement, we were running around and we just like stopped, and in between us we just heard this, like we were looking at each other and we just heard this huge breath, and then it just like where it was like breathed in and then breathed out really hard in the middle of us, and we both just looked at each other without even talking about it, and we just like screamed and ran upstairs. The second thing happened when I was with another friend, and we were in the same basement, different friend, and we saw this large hand on the window. To be honest, I still don't know if it was a person or not to this day, that part, because you could actually hear it. And when you're looking at a window and if it indents or if it moves, you can see like some kind of like reflection.
Yeah.
That's what we saw. So that was like the first couple little things that happened. And then I started to experience some things on my own. The most like palpable, I have like 2 most palpable paranormal experiences, meaning like I just won't forget them. One, I was in my room, and at that time I slept, by myself. Having so many kids, sometimes we shared rooms at different phases of our life, but this time I had my own room. And my door was completely shut and the lights were off, light switch was off, and it was super late, like in the AM, and the light turned on, and I could obviously tell the light turned on. When your eyes are closed, you can tell a light goes on. And I like did one of those where I like slowly opened my eyes, like just cracked my eyes open to kind of just figure out what was going on, and realized the door was shut. And the light switch, like the physical light switch, was flipped up. And so like something had actually physically flipped the light switch, which was terrifying. And then after that, a radio turned on, and I was trying to explain to my parents that like the song had my name in it, and my parents were like, it's okay, like trying to calm me down. And as I was talking to my mom downstairs, nobody was upstairs, and the radio just went full, like loudest volume possible with the same song on.
That's wild.
Yep. So those are my kind of like my top 4 that I can think of that happened to me personally. And that, like, as you guys know, those experiences are what got us into the paranormal from the very beginning. As like those types of experiences as a kid too, like, definitely leave you with questions and leave you like wanting to like figure out more about it.
No kidding. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm just like processing that.
No, it's crazy. It was funny because like growing up, like my friends always like my house was like the haunted house. So like sleepovers, like nobody slept. And it was just like one of those things where like we had that scary house growing up.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for my friends, but what can you do?
Yeah. But also kind of like makes it fun though, in a way.
Yeah, in a weird way.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny because like there were times where I'm like, gosh, I'm like, I feel like the weird kid. like I have all these weird things that like no one else is experiencing. And, but over time you just, I feel like that's life though. You just learn to like accept your story and the things that happen to you, and those who follow and those who stick by your side are the ones who you get to share all those crazy stories with.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys had any paranormal activity happen to you or in your homes?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Not me. Not in my house. Well, actually, okay, Mads can go first.
No, you go first. You go ahead.
Okay. Okay, Chelsea. This is gonna sound psycho, okay? I understand that. But do you believe in alien ghosts?
So that's a great question, actually. I have always thought of the idea that sometimes we might be like actually talking and like communicating with aliens instead of ghosts, but I've never thought of an alien ghost.
Okay.
But like it's not off the table for me.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty sure I had one for a little bit.
What?
Like
You have
attached to me.
You have I literally am just envisioning this like mini, I don't know why it's a mini ghost. That's a
Well, so that's the crazy thing is I ended up like doing a little doodle of him. So okay. Do you ever listen to our podcast? It's okay if you don't. No pressure.
I have not heard the alien baby podcast with the
So I
ghost.
don't know if you know or if you've heard at all, but like sometimes we dabble in the art of like using marijuana. So
I cannot be here anymore.
you can no longer be affiliated with us. I get it. Fine. Okay. So there was. So to take it all the way back to the beginning, I went on a moonlight kayaking trip, like a full moon kayaking trip, probably around this time last year. It might have been in September. And
you gotta realize like you prefacing this story is like I'm just imagining you getting super stoned and seeing ghost alien thing.
It's kind of like that. So when we went kayaking, we kept like slipping in and out of the veil. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me and the two other ladies I was with. And so ever since then, whenever I get really high, I feel like I get really close to the veil. And I'm just like, I always tell people I stay like 5 feet away from it. Like it's there, I see it, they see me, and I'm just not approaching it, and they're not allowed to approach me. So
is this the veil of aliens or the veil of like spirits?
Open to interpretation, man. I don't actually know.
Dang, that's kind of scary.
It is. So like one night I was like, because I have a bunch of migraine problems and stuff, and so I don't like taking prescription meds as much as I need to. It's annoying. So sometimes I'm like, a Friday night, I'm like, I'm gonna eat 25 milligrams and just pass the frick out. So one night I was laying on my couch watching On Patrol live, and I was like, okay, I have to.
Did you say Paw Patrol?
On Patrol.
Did
you ever watch like live PD? It's like
oh
the,
yeah.
cops.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I'm
On
like,
Patrol.
okay,
Yeah.
this is getting crazy.
So
gosh.
I go into my hallway, and it felt like something was peeking around the corner at me, because it was like, I don't know, 11 p.m. and it's all dark in my house. And so I walk into the hallway, and I feel like this presence backs down the hallway. And so I was going to the bathroom, and I lived by myself, so I left the door open, and I felt like something was like getting closer to me. So I was like, I have the light of God with me. I am more powerful than you. You do not scare me. And I felt it again. So I like just repeated that. And I like saw this footprint like enter the doorway of the bathroom. And so I was just like, I have the light of God with me. You are not allowed near me. I am more powerful than you. You do not scare me. And so I think maybe like 2 weeks later, I was getting ready for Mads to come visit me, actually, and I had a bunch of clothes to donate, so I told my mom, and she was like, well, I'm going to the secondhand store, so I'll just come grab them and drop them off. And I was like, cool. And she said she was on her way, so I was watching, I don't know, some sort of trash TV, I'm sure, and I paused the TV, and I stood up, and I start walking down the hallway, and the TV starts playing again. So,
No.
Yeah, I walked back out, and I grabbed the remote, and I was like, no, and I paused the TV, and I start walking away, and I hear this, like, growlish sound just in the air, and then the TV, like, it came on again, and I was like, I told you no, and I paused it, and, like, nothing happened, so I told my mom, I was like, I think something from the spirit realm is with me, and, oh, let me backtrack.
So let me just pause you for a second. You're so funny, because I've had moments like where something's happened and like you are so funny because you are basically like verbalizing like this is an issue. There's something here. This isn't okay. My response would be, even though I'm thinking that, oh, this stupid old TV. Oh, this darn thing. I would literally come up with every excuse to not like declare it as paranormal because I just like am that scared. So like props to you for like even like voicing that.
Well, that's fair, but I don't know, just in my gut, like in my intuition, I was like, something's here. But I have to back to the bathroom, seeing the footprint really fast, because it wasn't a human footprint. It was like the best way to describe it was like a tiny elephant foot.
What?
Yeah, okay, so that's important to the story. That's why I was like, I have to back up. Okay, so now we're at the TV situation. And I told my mom, I was like, something from the spirit world is with me, just FYI, I'm like 90% sure of that. And she's like, oh, maybe it's just grandma saying hi, like, do you want me to come in and scope out your house because she has connections to the other side? And I was like, maybe, probably. So when she got to my house,
Grandma recently get a elephant hoof.
a tiny-ish elephant, like a baby, a little Dumbo, if you will. So
wow.
Yeah, so my brother was driving them because they had been drinking. It was like a Saturday, and my mom's like, I've had like 4 mimosas, and I'm like, I'm jealous, but there's a ghost in my house. So she comes inside, and she like goes and stands in every room of my house, and she comes back, and mind you, I told her nothing other than something from the spirit realm is here, right? Yeah. So she tells me, okay, here's the deal. It doesn't reside in your house. It's right outside your wall, like in your backyard. And I was like, okay. She's like, it's not of this earth. It might be alien. I was like, what the fuck? And then she's like,
what?
She's like, it doesn't mean you any harm. She's like, I think you and it have like the same spirit, and you're both just really curious of each other. And she's like, you're not in danger, and if you were in danger, she said, Diesel, he's my black lab. She's like, Diesel will let you know. And I was like, how did you just confirm every thought I ever had about this situation when I never told you a fucking thing about it? Like, what? I'm scared now because I didn't tell her anything. And
so is your mom gifted too? Like, are you guys both like gifted?
Yeah, so I never really, until Destination Fear came about, and now Project Fear, and until Fear Babes, I never really let myself be open to if I have gifts or not.
Sure.
Because I don't know, it's like, I feel like I wasn't educated enough to, like, because if you let in the good, you might let in the bad too, right? So I did not want to cross that line, because I'm scared.
Yeah.
And so, but my mom she's always been gifted, and she has, like, she calls it her little team on the other side. It's, like, her mom and her grandpa and, like, our dogs that had passed and stuff, and they're, like, her protectors. And Yeah,
Wow.
so she was explaining to me, she was like, here's the heaven realm, which is like up above, and she like did this hand motion. She's like, here's the earth realm down below, and then over on the side, she's like, here's the alien realm, and she's like, heaven and this realm are connected, the alien realm, and heaven and our realm are connected, but us and them are not usually connected. She's like, so somehow somehow you guys have crossed paths. And I was like, what?
What?
Okay.
Wait, so there's basically 3 realms.
Or more. There could be more, but that's what she was describing to me at that time.
Wow. That's interesting, actually, because that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
My brain.
And then, like 2 days after that, I was sitting on the couch with Diesel and Annie. I have 2 dogs. And neither of them like ever freaked out about this stuff, so I never really felt like I was in danger. But Diesel's just staring out my back door, and I was like, what you looking at, Dees? And he like wouldn't acknowledge me. And, like, if you knew my dog, you would understand that that's not normal for him. And so I was like, is it the visitor? Because that's what I deemed it at that point. And he, like, just kept staring, and I was like, Diesel. And then he finally looked at me, and he, like, came over, sniffed my nose, wagged his tail, and then sat back down and just stared out the door again. And I was like, what are you staring at?
What?
Yeah, it was wild.
Gosh. So, like, did it ever come back?
There was a few times, and then I told it at one point. My mom told me that like if they have genders, it's a male energy, and
Okay.
I told it that it was not allowed near or in my bedroom because that was my safe space. I'm like, if you want to hang out in my living room, whatever, do your thing. You cannot come to my bedroom though. And so like one night, I was laying in my bed and I hadn't closed the door yet, and I like felt something standing in the doorway. And I had talked to my mom about it a few times after she confirmed all this stuff. And she's like, maybe you're supposed to just help it move on to the other side. And so I tried that. I was like, your loved ones, wherever they are, they're waiting for you. Like, if you see the light, just go towards it and everything is going to be okay. And I've never felt him since.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was weird.
That's so weird. It makes me think like, how did it get here? Like it's so wild.
That's the other thing too, Chelsea, though, I forgot, is that day when my mom confirmed those thoughts, I had taken a nap and I woke up and I like immediately doodled what I thought he looked like.
No way.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
That doodle?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh my gosh. How long ago was that?
Mads, you came here the first week of June, right?
Yeah.
So just like 2 months ago, 2 to 3 months ago.
Wow, this is recent.
Yeah, super recent.
And you're able to sleep at night.
Yeah, just fine.
Oh my gosh, that's so wild. Okay,
yeah, it was nuts.
Very recent experience. That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Mads, your turn.
To piggyback off that, when I was in Wyoming and I was at Bergie's house, I'm pretty sensitive to energies and stuff like that. So I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and all of a sudden, like, I felt something in her living room, and I just like stared in there, and I just freaked out a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go right to Bergie's room and act like nothing ever happened.
That's what I do.
And because I feel like they know, man. Like,
I know they know. I think they know, even if we don't show it.
Exactly. And I was just like, if I just pretend like, because obviously I stared in there, so it knows that I know it's there, but I was just like, nah, okay, I'm just going to like fast walk back to Bergie's room, and I shut the door so quick. I was so scared I was going to wake them up, but I felt it there.
It's the externally unfazed, internally freaking the frick out.
Right?
Exactly.
I feel like I've done that my whole life, though. Like, just to sum it up real quick, is like ever since I was little, I've been able to hear things in my sleep, like my twilight sleep. I hear voices. And so it sounds like static, like an old TV. where like there's voices that are coming through, but they sound staticky, if that makes sense. So when
you're like you're like a device that we use.
you could say that, yeah.
Maybe you should take her with you.
Right?
But oh my gosh, that's actually creepy though, because like it depends on what you hear, right? Do you remember what you hear?
The first thing, I mean, usually I do, but a lot of times it's just things telling me that they're here, or like things will say my name. But when I was younger, like I think I was like 5 years old, maybe. Yeah, I would probably say about 5 or 6. I was asleep. It was the middle of the night, and I heard arguing. And I thought that it was like my parents, but it didn't sound like them. So I was like, I don't think that's my parents. So like me being me, even back then, I was like, let me get up and see what's going on, you know? Mm-hmm. And I verified, like, my parents were fast asleep. My little brother, he was like fast asleep. He was just a little fella. And there was no TV on, nothing. And so I went back to sleep, and I could still, like, after I had like fallen into a twilight sleep, I could still hear the arguing. So I was like, what the heck? And that's the earliest memory I have. I don't remember what they were saying, but at least back then. But that's what I remember. Yeah.
I think dreaming already is so weird.
Right?
Like, the fact you have like another layer of dreaming like is like, that's just mind blowing to me. Like dreaming is so crazy. Have you guys ever had like a night terror?
Yes.
Dude, I get night terrors. It's usually only when I'm like really stressed out, but they are so freaky because mine aren't real, right? Like my night terrors are basically my daily fears that are amplified, manipulated, make me feel like they're real. And I will literally sleep talk about like an unnecessarily stressful situation that's not even real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like we had some changes at work and we were hiring and we had like a ton of people apply for the position, but we've had some changes just with the staff. And one of my night terrors was I woke up and I literally woke up my husband and I said, I hired someone and I don't remember their name and I don't even know where they are. And Jake knows now, like when I'm in that like headspace, he knows that like he has to kind of go with it because I believe it's totally real.
Yeah.
And so his response was so cute. It was just like, oh, that's okay. I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Oh, that's so cute. That is cute.
I'm like, it's like he has to learn how to respond to because they feel so real. Dreams feel so real.
They
like,
do. You want to know something that might scare you a little bit?
Oh gosh.
I'll tell you one. And actually I had one recently, and this is so crazy that you brought up night terrors. I think it was in 2018. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sleeping in my room where we normally sleep. And I was like, okay, in this dream, I just remember being in this random house, in this random room that I have never been in. I just remember the room was bright. It was yellow. And there were a bunch of crosses on all 4 walls of the room.
What?
Yeah. And then suddenly I heard 3 church bells ring and all of the crosses in sync turn upside down.
No.
And yeah. And then I started like, because I'm so religious, I started reciting the Lord's Prayer in my dream. And I couldn't wake up because I was in such a deep sleep. And I started reciting the Lord's Prayer. And then eventually I felt like the energy kind of, go. And then I woke up and I was like, like, like how it is. It's like I was sweating. I was breathing really hard. And I was like, that, I couldn't go back to sleep after that. I was so scared.
Yeah, that's sketch, dude.
Yeah,
that's
man.
The most terrifying thing of all time.
Right? So that one has always stuck with me. But usually my dreams are really stupid. Like, just so dumb. So dumb. I'll text Bergie sometimes. I can't even think of one off the top of my head because
we do it all the time. We're like, this is what I dreamed about last night.
Yeah. It's like so stupid.
Man, I wish I had stupid dreams. Mine are so freaking stressful. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I like to be transparent about it because I feel like sometimes when people like look at my Instagram, look at my Facebook, look at whatever, like I don't post, like I post things that are exciting to me. But like, I think it's important to talk about like life is freaking stressful. And like it shows that in my night terrors too, that like, obviously like there's stress there. But I think it's important to talk about like those things too, because you know a lot of people experience like you said, anxiety, and the world is ridiculously stressful right now.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Just like our bodies can only handle so much.
It's true.
Not to like psychoanalyze or anything, but it's almost like your body is telling you that you are under so much stress, and so I don't know, like, do you do anything to cope with stuff like that, like yoga or anything like that? Like, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, if that's too personal.
No, I think it's important to talk about like how people do cope with their stress. And to be honest, the night terrors happen when I know that I'm stressed already, but I know that I don't have time to deal with the stress. So it's almost like my body is like screaming like, hey, like you need to be aware of this and you need to take care of me. Like you, like that whole analogy of like filling your cup up so you can fill other people's cups.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like you almost have to, like when you plan out your week, you almost have to have a day that like you don't have something planned that night, or you don't have, like you have to create that space as a buffer for your own mental health. So like that's something I'm working on right now, is like actually like instead of planning physical things every day, like my calendar is sickening, but like part of that planning is actually like a guaranteed night where you don't have anything planned. And I think that's what I need, to be honest, is just that day to have a buffer, to deal with the stresses that kind of build up, or my checklists that get too long, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
It's definitely important.
Yeah. I had to do that this weekend because I've been experiencing like extreme burnout, and I forced myself not to do anything. I was like, you cannot do anything. Like, just rest. Because my body was giving me the signs of like, you are doing way too much.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was hard.
Like, we live in a time where we are growing with technology that's going faster than we can go, you know? And like our expectation for humans is it's getting to a point where it's like we're almost expected to do so much and calculate so much and turn over so much that it's like, I do think that humans have like a capacity, and you have to reset. Like, we're not robots. We actually like need to feed our bodies, and we burn out and we fatigue. Like, robots, as long as they have the battery, they can go at full max. Like,
exactly.
We can do that.
Exactly.
But super important to talk about in today's world, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's important to listen to your body too, and to know your limits, for sure.
Absolutely. Especially when your body's like literally waking you up at night saying like, hey,
you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Please calm down.
Deal with this.
That's the worst though.
We've reached our limit.
But that's like the whole dreaming thing. It's weird that it comes out.
Yeah.
Like when, you know,
the
like
subconscious level.
There's something about dreaming that's so like majestic. Like whether you're dreaming great things or scary things or like futuristic things, like I think it's a really interesting space. Don't you also find it weird that most dreams when you wake up you forget them?
Yes.
I actually usually remember my dreams pretty well for at least a couple of days. Yeah, it's weird.
It depends.
it's actually weirder. It's like more often that I remember them than I don't. So if I don't remember a dream, that's when I'm like, am I too stressed out or something? Like, what's going on?
Oh my gosh, I never remember dreams.
Really?
Never.
Oh my gosh.
Like, never. We got to do a poll. Like, we need to figure this out. Like, how many people regularly, honestly remember their dreams on a regular basis?
We should.
Because now I'm curious.
Wait, yeah, that's so interesting, actually.
Chelsea, do you have an inner dialogue?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, if I'm home alone, it's like not an inner dialogue. It's like, how about you guys?
Yeah, we've talked about it before. We're like, because one of these coworkers I used to have, she doesn't work with us anymore, but she's like, I just found out that some people don't have an inner dialogue, and I'm like, that's crazy, because I have like multiple narrators, and there's usually always a theme song happening. And,
what?
Yeah.
What the heck, girl? It's like,
I make up my own theme songs all the time. Like, I'll just be walking around like do 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 do.
Yeah.
People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, it's a theme song.
That's so funny you say that. I was working and I was singing. It was like a spin-off of like Star Wars, and one of my staff members just looked in. She goes, "Is that Star Wars?" I'm like, "Don't mind me."
Like, maybe it is. Who cares?
That's interesting. So I love learning about people and how they think and like how they're wired. Like it intrigues me, right? We're all so different, but there's so many things that are similar.
Right.
But dreaming is definitely one of those like fascinating parts of life. You almost go to like a different world.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, so we did an episode a while ago where we talked about dreams possibly being paranormal. So do you believe that there's a paranormal aspect to dreams? Like, maybe not all the time, but like occasionally?
You know, I think if there's like a space where things can cross over to you, I think that that's the most obvious time, especially in today's world. Like, we don't have downtime, right? Like we don't have time. Most of us don't have time to like actually like connect with something. Like, we can barely connect with each other on a real level, you know, physically, like in the physical realm. That like, I feel like if there's going to be some kind of communication or tapping into your psyche or your mind, it's going to happen at night.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory.
I agree with that.
I was thinking if there was more. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know how I feel about that. Because like I literally hear things in my sleepy time, but you know, it's just like, I don't know.
I hear things in my sleepy time. We're gonna have everybody like second guessing their nighttime, like their sleep time. No one's gonna be sleeping tonight.
Literally.
We don't sleep at any of the locations, and that also messes me up.
Yeah, I believe.
The one time I fall asleep, the one time I get bed bugs.
Oh my God. Where was that at?
That was at the hotel.
Oh, of course it was a hotel. Not even any of the haunted, old, a little bit rundown locations you've been to. Just the hotel.
Virginia City, that episode where we split up in different rooms. I finally got maybe an hour or two of sleep, and I literally got bed bugs, yo.
Are you serious?
I'm never sleeping again. I'm literally serious. It was so gross. I even took pictures because I'm like, this is disgusting. And I've been to so many places that actually are not inhabitable, where you actually shouldn't be in a sleeping bag in.
Yeah.
And I was fine. But this was an actual freaking, oh, it's so gross, you guys. I can't even talk about it because it's nasty. I felt so gross. I literally, it was so gross. And then the other place we were staying at, I always forget the names of these locations. They all blur into one. But the Goldfield Hotel, there's two basically places we stayed at. And the other place, I had giant, grasshoppers in my room.
Disgusting.
What?
So, like, I genuinely just felt like I just had to, like, envision myself, like, I am camping. I am outside. I am surviving. I had to, like, mentally go to a place where, like, I wasn't even reality because it was so gross.
Oh.
I don't know how to do it.
The guys shared that lodge, the miners' lodge, and that was even more funny because that was, like, so ratchet, too.
Ew.
We were all just really roughing it.
That's
don't know how
crazy.
you do it, man. Like, the bugs. Not even the ghosts, just the bugs in general. I'd be like, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
It's weird
Yeah.
because, like, in my regular life, I'm actually a germaphobe. And, like I don't know how I do, like, these locations because at home I'm literally, like, so particular with, like, germs and sanitizing, and it's crazy. So
Same.
It's probably good for me.
Did you bring, like,
Dude.
little hand sanities with you then?
Oh, yeah.
You got all the different scented ones too? Like one per location?
Yeah. I like the lavender one.
Yeah. Very calming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As much as I can.
I'm also a germaphobe, so I understand entirely.
No kidding.
I'm freaking weird about stuff like that. Ugh.
The worst is when we don't have flashlights because we're already like, we're like, it's like way scarier because you can't see anything. But 2, you really don't know what's crawling beneath your sleeping bag.
Gross.
So
okay, well now I will not be sleeping tonight either. So there's that.
That's so funny.
I'll be thinking about bugs.
So just
Forget the
close your
ghost.
eyes and you're like, what was that? What touched me? It's a bug. Oh my gosh.
I can handle the bugs. Or not the bugs, the ghosts.
Yeah,
I can't handle the bugs.
Not the bugs. The bugs is where I draw the line.
No, but seriously.
Especially
Okay.
spiders. Mm-mm.
No. Okay, don't even. So I guess we can go into the next question. How were you approached to do Trail to Terror and Destination Fear by Dakota?
Completely misled. Just kidding.
I would believe it, dude. I totally would believe that.
So how it went down, to my knowledge, again, busy part of my life. I was playing professional hockey and I only had 1 week off and it was during like Christmas break or something, like sometime during the winter. And Dakota had mentioned to me one time. By the way, Dakota drove me out to Connecticut. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, dang, what a great brother. Like, driving his sister out to Connecticut to move into her new place. And, like, little did I know he was scheming.
It was a trick.
Totally. So he asked me if I wanted to do a project with him, a passion project that had to do with going to paranormal locations. And there was no detail at all. 0 details. So I said, yeah, of course. Like, I'd love to support you in your dream. And, I would love to do it because he wanted to basically do this project with people who used to go and go to like haunted places in our hometown. And we all did that growing up. So he wanted to basically do a project, he told me, that had something to do with us growing up and going to haunted places. I'm like, count me in. I love that stuff. I'm excited. Let me know when it gets closer to the date. I will mark that on my calendar, though, that is the week that we will go. And let me know. And we kind of left it at that. I didn't ask many questions. I was just kind of like, couple, like, I think it was like a week before we left. I messaged him, like, just a couple things, like, what should I wear? When are you guys, when are we leaving? When are we starting? And, and then I was like, what are we doing? Like, what's the concept of this? Like, is it just like a road trip? Is this like, we're just going to like day explore? Like, I had no idea. And he then told me at that moment, like 5 or 6 days before we left, that we would be attempting to sleep alone, isolated at these locations. And we have never done that before, by the way. And I'm like, you realize I can't do that. Like, I actually won't do that. But I told him I'll try, but it's probably not going to happen. And then we ended up going, and it was like just absolutely like ridiculously miserable. I was so scared. I actually want to watch Trail to Terror again because
You did great.
Yeah.
like anyone who's going to go paranormal investigating for the first time, like those feelings that you get when you're like for the very first time, I really want to watch it again. But then after that, we had this like project, like it was edited. We submitted it to some film festivals, and we had a lot of fun just like knowing that we have this project edited and ready to roll. And we always like dreamt about getting a TV show. We talked about it for years after filming it. We're like, someday, maybe that time will come. We didn't have anything like completely like set that we were going to get anything or anything out of it or it would go anywhere, but it was just more like a fire inside of us that we were excited about. And then like second year that I was in optometry school, like knee deep into my optometry career, I get a call from Dakota basically saying that, we got this show and they want the same concept of the show and they want the same people. And, my first knee-jerk reaction was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I can barely do school right now. I don't know if I can film a TV show on top of that.
Yeah.
But it ended up working out. I got approval from the school. I still had to be at school for every exam and had to maintain a good academic standing and pass my national boards and all that stuff. But it ended up working out great. There were some hiccups in the road with just people who were involved with the show that had nothing to do with the show. But it all panned out. And then we got 4 awesome seasons out of it.
It's so crazy. Like, okay, Melissa, for those of you who are listening who don't know Melissa, she is from the Fear Friends. She is from the Fear Friends, Melissa Evans. She tweeted today, August 20th, that we are recording this, is 5 years since Destination Fear was announced.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild.
Isn't that crazy to think that was that long ago?
Yes, I feel like I just started. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Honestly.
That's
Like,
so
where
wild.
did the time go?
It is sad, like, to think about, like, TV in general, like, dying, because it is such an amazing, like, it was so exciting, like,
yeah.
Like just the filming of it and then the anticipation of it. And, like, I know when we ended it, like, there's a lot of negativity surrounding it because it was a bummer, but the process was really exciting and it was fun. And like, I'll never, forget that opportunity and those moments, but it was such a crazy time. Like, someday I'll tell my kids about it, and it's one of those things where you're just like, no way that happened.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just so cool. So cool.
That is cool.
But
It is.
still are, I think, we talk about it too. I don't know if we talk about much in the public eye, but just like how it unfolded, like, couldn't have been any better. Like, we almost needed a jump start, right? Like, if you start dry on YouTube, it's hard to gain momentum. Like,
Yeah.
unless if you do something so viral and so crazy that, but you continue to capture that audience. It's really hard to go, like, at least from my knowledge, it's really hard to go sensationally viral on YouTube quickly. But the TV show allowed us to really build a family and a community of people who really gravitated to what we did. Because when we started, we were the outliers. Like, we didn't do things like everyone else was doing it. And it was definitely, at first, there was some backlash with like, hey, you're not doing this right. And then people who really gravitated to us. We're like, hey, there's no rules to this. Like we're, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to, do X, Y, Z, it's okay to go at your own pace. And I think the people that gravitated and surrounded Destination Fear really helped just set us up for Project Fear. And sometimes I think that Project Fear was like always supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I believe in like everything is divinely supposed to happen. Like it's all premeditated. Mm-hmm. So everything happened exactly how it was supposed to happen.
Yep, exactly.
And so, I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that for sure. Mm-hmm. It's just so hard to believe. Like sometimes I sit back and think, and like I discuss this with Bergie every once in a while, but I just think about how your guys' show has brought so many creative people to surface, like us doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Me nor Bergie would have never even thought about doing one, really. I mean, like we wanted to, but what were we going to talk about?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? But like, it's just that having Destination Fear, Project Fear, it brought that to surface. It brought the desire to surface. And then like, I think about people like Madison Cummins, who did like graphic design for years.
She's so talented. Everyone like,
right?
But that's the thing. Like, that's like one of the coolest parts about like the process is like, I feel like people who have opportunities to like, to get in the spotlight and to have an audience, I think it's important to like allow other people to grow and to like, like there's some people who have more like spotlight than others, and it's almost like it's all about that particular person. But like a community is so much better, like having a collective group that can be creative, that can do things that might be uncomfortable, but you have the support. It's really cool to see from our perspective too.
Right.
So many friendships made over the last 5 years that never would have happened if it wasn't for the show. It's pretty cool.
It's been so cool to watch and witness and be like a small part of it even. So
yeah,
like kudos
and
to
you guys were there from the very beginning.
Oh,
you guys were there from like the fruition of fear.
I know.
Trying to get the Zoom calls and everything. Me tricking my parents into watching it.
I love that. Your parents have become like their own characters. I love that.
Know.
Like, I love when you post their reaction videos. It's literally like the highlight of my week.
It's so funny. My mom is like so wild with it. Sometimes I'm like, it's always funny too, because it's like if I record her the whole time so that I don't miss something, she's not very like responsive for some reason. And then it's like when I'm not recording her, she's like crazy, like going off the walls. And I'm like, why?
You just gotta like hide the camera just to get the raw reaction. But it's so funny.
Sometimes
I love that.
Like, reacting, and then she's like, "Are you recording me?" And I'm like, "Maybe." I don't know. Am I?
It's funny. I have like moments like that too because sometimes we record things and it doesn't come out until later, and I kind of forget what happens. And I'm watching. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? He did that?"
You're like, "Oh yeah."
And then it like brings back all those like feelings again, and I'm like, "No, this happened a couple months ago again." We have this resolved.
That's funny. Chelsea, before I forget, because you mentioned earlier that you want to watch Trail to Terror again, you guys should do like a Fear Club podcast where you all rewatch it together and kind of do like some commentary and like a recap and stuff.
We actually want to do something with Trail to Terror. We're just waiting for the rights to be given back to us.
Because Discovery Plus has them, huh?
Yeah, they literally took it and left us.
Yeah, literally.
You freaking jacks. I'll fight them for you.
It is weird. Like, I wonder when they're going to bring paranormal back to streaming. Because, like, right now, it's like they genuinely, like, don't have a whole lot of new content coming out with even streaming.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like they've got a lot to figure out still, obviously, with that big of a merger. Like,
yeah,
apparently they're not doing so great. I don't know the specifics, but if you just look up, like, Warner Brothers. It's not looking like the best, but like I miss the paranormal, like not even ours, but like I just miss having like a outlet that you can go like watch, like especially during this, like I know for sure it's gonna hit me the hardest this season when it's like spooky season. You just want to like get scared and like be freaked out.
Yep. Dude, it was like it's a time that I'm glad that we got to live it, like Ghostober. That was so cool.
Oh
like you guys,
Ghostober.
I mean, y'all were only a part of it for like what, 1 year maybe? The whole time. But like outside of that, it was still so cool to like see it and like be a part of it. I don't know. I kind of do. I miss that era.
Yeah, I do too. I do. There are definitely things that I miss about it, but to be honest, now that we have our own thing, like this is we can get creative with, yeah, like we can make our Halloween, our October. Oh my gosh, I had the funniest thing. Instead of Ghostober, I was thinking Ghost-tuber.
Yes,
oh, cute,
perfect.
See, like we can do some things here, but I think that there's obviously room for growth in this department.
That was a great idea. I feel like you should make that a thing. You could get like so other channels in on it with you guys.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be so cool.
Come on, let's get some content out there when people want to.
Right? Oh my gosh, that would be so cute.
Right? People would probably see it and be like, "What is Ghost-tuber?"
No, we got you. We'll hype you up.
What is this Ghost-tuber?
Like, you have to watch it.
I feel like we could get in trouble by the network, but like that's too close to Ghost-tuber. It's like, you know what?
Is it though? No.
Leave us alone.
Haven't you done enough, network? Mind your business.
Salt in the wound.
Yeah. Chicks.
But I do wonder, like, what's happening behind, like, with them, if there's even any like sparks or inklings of bringing paranormal back regularly. It was just such a cool, like, I feel like we were so lucky to like experience all that.
Right.
Definitely, for sure. Personally, I think that them cutting you guys, even though it has brought all this, the creative freedom, you guys can release episodes whenever you want. Yeah, it's not like once a year.
Yeah.
Like 8 episodes once a year. But I don't know. I still feel like they might kick themselves and be like,
yeah,
damn, that was a mistake. Because you guys are like the new thing.
Yep.
Or, especially on Travel Channel, like young, fresh.
Yeah, like as far as the like, we were one of the younger groups for sure in the paranormal realm. The one thing is, we did have a really, really good relationship with the production. Like we had a great relationship even with travel. The issue was like when they merged, like all of the people who advocated for us got cut. So like we basically, like the new people coming in had no idea who we were. They had so many other shows that they were probably juggling that we were just like nothing to them.
They're paranormal fans. Rude.
Gosh, like it's crazy though, because I got tagged in, like, not even exaggerating, thousands of people. And that's just the people who tagged me, like in their messages to, Discovery Plus, just saying like, hey, like, please renew like this show. Mm-hmm. And, they kept getting these responses like, hey, we're looking into it. It's just like, gosh, like everyone fought so hard to like get us another season. And I do feel like sometimes though, when you're fighting that hard for an answer for something, sometimes it's good to like walk away, If you want it more than the person on the receiving end wants you, then it's like, maybe it's not the best place for you anyways.
Exactly.
Right? A bit of a blessing in disguise, really.
For sure. I can't believe we've already been talking for an hour. That's insane.
I know. It's like, where'd the time go?
I know. Yeah. It goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It does. It definitely does. Great topics, though.
honestly.
Yeah, truthfully.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced trying to study to be an optometrist while filming a TV show?
Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. What a crazy time. So I think one of the like things was just like finding time to study. And I'm like a note card person. So people don't know this about me, but I am a slow learner. And I need to write it. I need to highlight it. I need to circle it. I need to say it out loud. If I can do those things, I can usually retain it pretty well. But I'm not the type of person that can read it, instantly remember it, and not forget it. Like if I want this ingrained in my mind, I have to really methodically study, and it does take time. So I would have to make like these note cards and just all of this material. And we would be filming in the RV. And when you're filming TV, you're almost filming like all the time. Like there's not a lot of downtime. Mm-hmm. So even if we had an 8-hour RV trip from one state to another, regardless of how much you saw, we were still filming. And so there was like these moments where we wouldn't be recording, and I had to, while other people were napping and kind of catching up on sleep, I was freaking studying, and it was so hard in an RV with freaking 3 grown men and a driver. Like
it was snoring.
It was just like, and like there's not like they had like a table, but like everything was taken up by like equipment, and it wasn't like a luxurious RV experience. Like it was like
right.
tough, and like I get motion sickness when I try to read, but I had to just like figure it out. I feel like when you really, really want something in life, it might cost you like maybe sleeping, but like I think you can like make it happen. And I think that's the kind of era I was in, is like, hey, this isn't forever. Can you make it through 3 more years? If you can, freaking try it. But the studying was the hardest part, and just the constant travel, and oh my gosh, it was just such a blur to me. But you know, you always have to remember your main goal too, right? Your main goal was to become an eye doctor. That was always my priority. So if I felt like that wasn't going to happen, I would have probably had to stop filming. So I had to do everything in my power to keep it going.
Yeah.
It's funny because people ask now, like, hey, like if you have a baby, are you going to quit Project Fear? And I'm like, do you know what I did?
Yeah.
Like, I became an eye doctor, okay? I can do anything.
Literally, like maybe the filming will have to get unique and creative, but like,
you have to take 1 season off. It's fine.
Literally, or what if like I get to be in charge?
Yeah.
Me and my big belly, like, we're going here.
This is where we're going. This is what you're doing, and I'm going to hang out over here. Thanks. Bye.
And you can't say anything.
Exactly. Precious cargo.
Yeah. But, it's one of those things, too. Like, think about the timeline we just talked about. It's been 5 years since we announced Destination Fear. That means that we actually probably started filming a lot earlier than that. So, like, 5.5, 6 years of making content, right? And when you have a baby, you're pregnant for 9 months.
Yeah.
Pop the baby out. Recover. Hit the road.
Bring your baby with you. New member.
Bring the baby with you. Get them acclimated. Okay? Well-rounded.
Baby's going to be up every 2 hours in the middle of the night anyways, so it's fine.
The guys have been hearing a lot of baby crying. Oh my gosh. But it's funny because like I literally think I see a pregnancy comment on a daily basis. I'm like,
oh, it's
you guys
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know you guys, like not you guys, but I know people want to be like the first to know, but it's like, if you know, then I don't even know because I'm
You're like, wait, am I? Question mark?
And if I am, and if it can be public knowledge, I'm not the person who's gonna not say something. Like if it's time to say it, then if my family knows, everyone else is gonna. Are you kidding me? If my mom knows, the world is gonna.
we all gonna know at that point.
My family's so funny. I swear I'm like the last to know anything in my family, by the way.
Why are you bad at keeping secrets?
No, they just literally leave me out of like the drama, which is probably good. But I swear I come back and they're like talking about the resolution of all of these things. And I'm like, yo, when did that even happen? Like, why aren't you communicating this to your daughter out in Red Wing, Minnesota? I think that's half of it, but I'm like so far away. They just keep me at a distance. Like, do you guys live close to your families?
My parents are literally like 3 minutes from my house.
Did we put Matt to sleep?
Madeline? Are you here? I'm here. He's like, my body told me I had to take a nap.
Wait, you slept?
No. That'd be so crazy.
I'm like, damn, this podcast sucks.
No. If we were going to sleep through any of them, it would have been probably Alex's. Let's be real, Chelsea.
Yeah, okay, good. Tell him
She
that.
might have, she says she had a mute.
Got
but
it.
Matt lives close-ish to her mom. I'm not entirely sure how close, but...
So you might still hear them for a second. I live like 10 minutes from my mom. So yeah. My brother is my roommate presently, so.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
My brother lives down the street from me. I can literally walk to his house.
Right down the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's actually cool.
Yeah.
Family forever. I feel like I live too far away from my family and I only live 50 minutes away. But if it's like a long, it's a long commute when you go there and back.
Is there a lot of traffic too?
No traffic, but it's just like a long time, like to just like meet up for a couple hours.
It takes like 2 hours commute-wise, basically, just to go hang out.
Exactly.
I always get stuck on the traffic because we don't have traffic in Wyoming at all. So I'm always like, how's your traffic?
Can't relate. I have way too much traffic. But where I'm at with my mom, we're in the country. So she's not... How I get to her house is not like very trafficy.
That's awesome. I hate traffic. I forget how bad I hate traffic every time I go back into a city, and I'm like, this is why I don't live in a city.
Exactly. When we went to Pennhurst and I flew to Mads and then like we drove up, I was like, Madeline, I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to drive because I cannot do the traffic. Especially when we get to Washington, D.C. Like, there's no way.
Dang, traffic. I hate driving I hate parking. I hate parking in a city. I don't mind driving. I would rather drive than park. Parking is so stressful in cities. And then they have all these rules and regulations on like, you can't park here from 1 to 2. You can't park over there from 3 to 4. If you park here and you don't have this specific badge, then we'll tow you. It's like,
it's ridiculous.
It's stressful. Who can I pay to park?
Right? We need Jeopardy music. Let's just leave that part in. Do you think Hugh Jackman is attractive?
I don't even know who that is. Let me look him up.
Yeah, like, what did I just come back into?
We're just killing time, man. Fine.
Oh, I know who this is.
Yeah. She's like, I mean, he's kind of old, but
he's older,
for an old guy.
He's very cute for an old guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Older guy. That's a real answer.
I know.
I was about to say earlier, I was like, I don't know what's in the water with you Laden kids, but you guys are just little hustlers, man.
Literally.
Like, I don't know.
It is quite an interesting household with how much is going on. But I feel like my parents just really pushed us. Like, my dad.
Yeah.
Like, the one cool thing about my parents is they took the time to learn our passions, and then they allowed the resources for us to pursue it as heavily as we wanted to. So, like, we just had to tell them, what we were interested in. So, like, the number one thing if you wanted to shoot yourself in the foot, you would tell my parents, like, something you didn't really love, because then they're going to open up the can and then you're going to go down this path that you're like, oh, never mind. Hold on. I don't want to do that anymore. So when you did tell my parents something, it was like, you really had to want it, because they were always super supportive that way. But it's definitely, it was a lot. I look back at my childhood, I'm like, oh my gosh, like my friends were like partying in high school and college, and I'm like, I had a few parties, but I didn't get to do nearly the type of college and high school experiences as other people. I played varsity hockey when I was 12.
Dang.
So my life got like pretty seriously revolving around sports really early.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how many of our listeners know that you were in the Women's Hockey League.
Yeah. I played obviously high school, and then I played Division I, and then I did play a year of professional women's hockey before I became an optometrist. So crazy. People ask if I miss it all the time, and I don't miss playing, to be honest. Like, I was at the point in my career where I was ready to be done, but I do love the game still. Love hockey. Love it.
Hockey's fun. I love hockey.
I love watching hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I mean, obviously I've never played. I can't even freaking ice skate, man. It's like
That's all right. You probably saved yourself a couple of concussions. Consider yourself lucky.
right?
There you go.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've had a concussion before or multiple.
I actually haven't, because I was a goalie, and I feel like I was very well protected.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I probably have had one. Come on now. I got it in my head.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I forgot that you were a goalie. Because I remember, like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if you did a video or what for something. I just remember watching and I was like, oh my gosh, she was a goalie.
Didn't they talk about it on Destination Fear when they did that as a pit stop?
Maybe it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was.
That's cool how they let us do that. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was really cool. In what way do you think you have grown the most since Destination Fear had started?
Ooh, deep question. To be honest with you, I think it sounds kind of superficial, but like, I think that I have grown in a way, and it's not all the time, but this is most of the time, where the internet doesn't bother me as much. And like, that's like on a just like a become like having more people interact with your social media pages. I think, in the beginning, season 1 of Destination Fear, I cared so much about what people said about me and the haters, the trolls, and like, it like consumed me. And I was like super honest about it with everyone. I'm like, you guys, like, this sucks. Like, who would ever want to be famous? But
Right.
I think that's one cool part is like the internet now to me, like you just gotta know. There are people out there who are literally miserable, who just want to hate on you. And that is just like, let them go off and do their thing because they're clearly unhappy. But as a like paranormal investigator, I think that because I have done this for so long, I think that I'm able to do things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do like 6-7 years ago. I'm able to push the boundaries a little more with what I can do, and not what I don't want to do, but what I actually can accomplish. And I could barely even stay in my own sleeping arrangement when we did Trail to Terror. So I think that it makes better content when you can do more things, that's for sure. And also just becoming more adaptable on the road and stuff like that. Like, you're just in positions and traveling and where it's not always comfortable. And I think by just doing that so often, it does build cool aspects of your character and things like that. So I think Project Fear and Destination Fear have really added a lot to my life when it comes to that. But it came at a cost. It wasn't always easy. I think people look at TV shows and, it's always glamorized, but there was not a lot of glamour behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
What have you guys noticed? What do you think, like, we've changed? Like, have you guys seen the evolution of us from the beginning? So what are your thoughts on that?
Maz, do you want to go first?
No, I'll let you go first.
I just think that you guys have really come into your own with your style of investigating, and it's not that you don't get afraid anymore, but you guys are definitely more you're more bold with how you approach things, I feel like, if that makes sense. And it's been really cool to watch.
Yeah, I like, you know, it's crazy. Like, it's like when you look in the mirror every day, you don't see change. But when you compare it from like years, like it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like we're all going to be surprised what we find.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I think about y'all's very first episode at Brushy Mountain versus now.
Yeah.
Oh my
so different.
It
So
is
different.
That was so scary.
I know.
I was so scared. I can like feel this fear right now.
That was where the Ovilus was like kiss, right?
Yeah.
Kiss.
Yeah, and Dakota literally socked me in the face with a.
Oh yeah.
He goes, you ran into me, and I was like, "Yo, you ran into me, mother hacker!" Like, I don't know.
I forgot about that part. That's so funny, but it's so messed up.
So funny. Like you hit your tooth or your face on this. I'm like, you literally did that to me.
You did it. Like,
freaking jerk.
Oh my gosh.
That would have harassing you ever since.
Gosh, that was so close to being my last episode. My first and my last episode ever. Like, literally.
Like, we do a new first episode. I'm just not going to be a part of this at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
well, okay. So, like, since we're talking about the growth thing, would you ever go back to Brushy Mountain?
Yeah, I like actually want to.
Okay.
Like, I want to go there and be like, I got this. But like, I know it won't go down like that.
Right. Make it your location, and then like you get to pick your own sleeping arrangement, and the rest of the guys have to draw out of a hat.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is. It's funny, like when I talk about things that I want to do and like how I want to react and things like that, like behind a computer and like in the comfort of my own home, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And then I get there, I'm like, damn,
never mind. You're like, I got this. Shows up, never mind, I don't got this.
Who even was that girl?
She was on a different level than me today. I'm not doing that.
Literally.
She was in her PJs sipping a chocolate in her home.
Comfy, cozy, brave.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I'm excited for you guys to see the UK series, though. I'm excited for you guys.
I can't.
That
We're excited.
I'm coming for that content. So pumped up. Lots of fun things to come. And this week, on the 30th, August 30th, that's when our fan episode comes out, which is so fun. It was so cool investigating with people who are like have a totally different like approach, and but it's super cool, super awesome. And we went back to like Fairfield and Madison Seminary, so those are where the 2 episodes are at.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool.
I know, I was crazy bringing Alex back to Fairfield. Like all I could think about is that door closing, and I'm like, yo, I actually remember. Oh my gosh, dude, I did Alex so dirty. Oh my gosh, I actually feel bad. I don't know if it made the cut, but if it did, honestly, he had it coming. I think.
I can't
remember where we're at on the tally list. I think he had it coming.
Keeping tabs. I got you back last time. It's my turn. It just goes on forever and ever.
I always just assume that I have tabs to give out. I always just assume that I still have more to give.
For Christmas, you just give out payback cards.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know where we're at,
but I'll one up you.
Feeling. Yeah, Alex is the easiest to get in a tiff with.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
Just like I like seeing him all riled up. It's just so fun.
It happens so fast too.
I know. He gets so sassy, and it's like, oh my gosh, as soon as you see it, you're like, let's do that again.
How do I get him to react this time?
Yeah, like how long will this take till he starts screaming at me? Likely, based on previous experiences, we have about 35 seconds.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure there's so much that like hasn't been shown, like sassy comments and stuff like that, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotta throw it in the fear club for some of us to see.
I know. I actually sent the guys some clips for these upcoming videos, just like funny things, like behind the scenes things, because like, oh my gosh, like there were like funny things that happened that I just like, I'm like, you guys gotta friggin' post these. Fear Club. Fear Club exclusive.
Post it now.
Post it right now. No one would even know what it's from. They'd be like, what is this?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Some of those people, man, they don't even care. You could literally just post a video of you staring and they'd be like, oh my god, Chelsea, I love you so much.
Literally.
I love the support in there. Man, some days I just like don't want to post anything, but I'll go on the Fear Club and be like, hey.
Just to hype yourself up a little bit. You're like, look at all
everyone else having a bad day.
Right? It's cute though. It's cool that everybody just kind of like supports each other.
Yeah, I don't think we could have even done that if we had a TV show, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have like had our own brand of anything.
Yeah.
I know
Which
that
is
like
lame.
Tanner used to do Twitch streams and stuff, and then he like couldn't because Travel or the network was like, dude, you can't do that.
I know. I was just like, you never knew, like until you tried, and then usually
they're like, never mind, no. Stop it right now.
I know. Even with the logo, like they're like, even though it's a totally different name and stuff, they were like kind of giving us some backlash with it. I'm like, you guys, like we had a concept before we had Trail to Terror, before we even had Destination Fear. We were the same people before doing the same thing. It's not like they own our creative, but
no. What the
they
heck?
were super respectful though. I'm not gonna lie, like it all like was fine, but what a weird time.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You should have seen, we had a whole like PDF, I wish I could find it, of all the possible names that we were going to be called. And we all had to pick our top 4.
I remember, I think Dakota tweeted out, like, he asked fans for suggestions, and so people were just going nuts with it.
Yeah, that's true. He did do that.
Yeah.
There's some good names in there. There were some just like totally like funny names where I'm like, that would be hilarious, but like we would not, no one would take us seriously.
You're like, you can't build a brand off of that. Like,
yeah, right.
That's how this works.
Like, yeah. Like,
you're like, that's funny, but no.
You had to look at it like a brand, which was just weird. Stuff we never really had to think about before.
Right. Yeah.
No
we Project Weenies.
Project Wieners.
Wieners is funnier.
What'd you say, Matt?
I said Project Weenies, but Wieners is so much funnier.
Oh my gosh.
With Chelsea.
Yeah. Sounds like a different kind of content.
I know.
Oh my
God. I get in
gosh.
trouble for that one.
I didn't even think about it that way, but that's funny.
Matt, how can you not?
I didn't until you said my name in the title. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, maybe take it back. We don't want that anymore.
Crazy. We just had an uptick in the Fear Club.
I forgot what live you guys did. It might have been like Fear Games 1 or something, and everybody's like, Chelsea just showed her boobs in the Fear Club. Oh my god! It was like all over Twitter, and I was like, "What is going on right now?"
I know. I told everyone to say it.
I remember that. You guys did like a drawing or something, is what happened. Like you
yes,
were, like,
you're right.
doodling
Like,
pictures.
how did we get to that point?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Like, go tweet it out that I showed my boobs in the Fear Club.
Literally, that's what happened.
Chaotic.
Well, this has been awesome. I really enjoyed being on here and
it went
talking
by
to you
so fast.
Yeah,
I know.
it did.
This was awesome. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yeah,
me too.
Told you I would.
Yeah.
We did. We only made half our questions, so if you ever want to do a round 2, just let us know.
Okay, good. We have more questions to ask. You guys will probably have more too as this next season unfolds, which the best content is yet to come out, so I'm excited about that. But
yeah, super excited about the UK videos.
Yeah.
Yes, they are going to be awesome and just so different. so like what we do is the same, but like the actual locations are just so different than anything we've done.
There's like different energies and stuff too, because those buildings are so much older than anything over here.
Yes.
Totally. Can't believe buildings can like stay like afloat that long. In America, it's like we like demolish something after like 50 years.
Right?
It's like, can we please keep something? Can we build a castle now and just keep it up for like 1,000 years just to say we have a freaking castle? That
You
can
gotta
Right.
preserve it forever.
time?
That'd be
Yeah.
so cool. Do it.
Preserve the history.
The Project Fear Castle.
Literally, I just want something that will be here for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's like a tiny little castle, like the only one I can afford.
It'd be perfect.
Just one really tall tower.
So this castle is made by Chelsea Laden. It looks like the equivalent of a doghouse, but it has been here for 1,000 years.
It's a castle for a chihuahua.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that
I
would
could
be
do that.
cute.
It's
I just gotta
haunted.
save up for a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay. We can wait.
We can wait. This could
And
happen.
then
though.
it's
This
got to
could
be
happen.
around for thousands of years after that. So make sure it's structurally sound.
No, we were in Chihuahua, but the economy, everything is really putting some strain on me now. It is for a mouse.
True.
It's a cardboard castle. Yay!
Yay!
We literally went from talking to like haunted houses to like building a castle for a mouse. Not sure how to get out here.
Welcome to Fear Babes.
Yep. This is what we do. Not a Fear Babes episode if we don't go off the rails somewhere at some point.
So true.
I think we made it far without going too far off the rails, but now we're in some weird territory.
It's the sleep deprivation, I fear.
You're right.
The fact that it's only Tuesday, like what?
I know.
It's been the longest week ever.
It's been the longest week ever. It's Tuesday.
Okay, but it's because Thursday and Friday I'm going out of town for a bachelorette trip, so it's like, you know, the short weeks when you have to work, you're like, why is this taking so long?
The countdown for the excitement.
Honestly.
That's fair. That's fair. You've had a long week.
Yep. Halfway through my week, guys. It's hump day for me.
Heck yeah.
Jealous.
I know. Hey, you've got to do it like twice already. It's my turn.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Chelsea.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Of course.
Alrighty, so now you all understand why we said this is the interview we've been waiting for.
It was
What'd you laugh at?
everything because Chelsea's energy, like her giggly energy, is so infectious, and I'm still on that little train right now. So
I love Chelsea.
me too. This interview was everything I could have wanted it to be
And more.
and more.
Is great.
So
Perfect.
I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot for us to add, really, because how do you top that? You can't.
You
really-
can't.
So, with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe on all platforms, and follow us on all socials at FearBase.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, bye babes.
Bye, babes.